Good morning, children. Today we are going to start the second part of the lesson. Your first lesson we started already. First part you have seen. Today we are going to start the second part. And the name of the lesson is The Best Christmas Present in the World. In the first class I have already told you about the main characters of the book and the act-wise summary of the story. Today we will go through the lesson and in detail we will see and what are the structures used here and what are the new words that we will learn here. Okay, all of you can look at your books and we will go through the lesson. Today we will cover only the first part. Okay, I spotted it in a junk shop in Bridport, a rolled up desk. The man said it was early 19th century and oh, I had wanted one, but they were far too expensive. This one was in a bad condition, the rolled up in several pieces, one leg clumsily mended, scotch marks all down one side. So you can mark here the narrator, he went to a junk shop, there he spotted. Spotted means you are just looking here and there and immediately his attention caught one thing. And he spotted and immediately suddenly saw something that is spotted. And that thing he had always wanted, Underline this structure. This structure we will read in detail after some time. He had always wanted this, but when he saw the table, he found that the leg is clumsily mended. What is clumsily mended? That means it had broken, it was repaired, but the repairing was not very neat. Okay, it was not neatly repaired, clumsily repaired. It was, next come to your book, it was going for very little money. I thought I could restore it. It would be a risk, a challenge, but I had to have it. I paid the man and brought it back to my workroom at the back of the garage. I began working on it on Christmas Eve. You can underline the word thought. I thought and then paid and then brought. Why we are underlining it, I will tell you later. Okay, so he brought that thing because the repairing was not very neat. So he has to repair it. So brought it to his workshop, it's behind the garage, and he started working on the table. I removed the rolled up completely and pulled out the drawers. The veneer had lifted almost everywhere. Veneer means you must have seen in your home also. Furniture, wooden furniture. But suppose your dining table, if it has a glass top, that is different. Otherwise on wooden top they will have a sun mica or formica, that is the veneer. The upper layer, the thin upper layer, upper cover of something is given in your book. Thin layer of plastic or decorative wood. The veneer had already come off. It looked like water damage to me, as if for a long time it has been exposed to water. So veneer has come off. Both fire and water had clearly taken their toll on this desk. You can underline, taken their toll. It's an idiomatic use. Its meaning is given damaged. It's actually taken their toll means something affects something and that too negatively and gradually. Gradually affecting something negatively. That is taking toll. So both fire and water, the table has been exposed to fire and water and it is damaged. The last drawer stopped fast. I tried all I could to ease it out gently. In the end, I used brute force. I struck it sharply with the side of my fist. The drawer flew open to reveal a shallow space underneath a secret drawer. Look how exactly he is expressing the things. He struck it fast. I tried all I could do to ease it out gently, that it will come out, but it did not come out. Then he used brute force. He put all his force on that and with the side of his thumb, side of his fist, this is fist, side of his fist, he struck it and it flew open. Flew open means suddenly opened. Okay. So flew open and when it flew open, he saw a shallow space underneath. below the dryer, he saw a space there. There was something there. I reached in and took out a small black tin box. Underline, a small black tin box. So many adjectives together. A small black tin box. Underline that. Many adjectives are used with a single noun. Noun is box. Sellotaped to the top of it was a piece of lined note paper written on it in Seki handwriting, and on that box something is written, and the handwriting is Seki, as if the man is old or diseased, okay, or very weak. With shaky handwriting it is written, Jim's last letter, received January 25, 1915, to be buried with me when the time comes. I knew as I did it that it was wrong of me to open the box, but curiosity got the better of my scruples. It usually does. When he saw the letter, he could understand. Somebody wants the letter to be buried with him when she dies. That means it's very close to somebody's heart, very personal letter. And we should not interfere with others' personal matters unnecessarily. So one thing was telling you to no, don't open the letter. It's a very personal letter. But he was very curious. Okay, what is written in the letter? That he wants the letter to be with him even at the time of death. So curiosity. We have a conscience. Our conscience tells us what is right and what is wrong. Here the word is scruples used. Scruples told that no, you should not open. But curiosity was dominating. No, open, let's see what's there in it. Inside the box, there was an envelope. Inside that envelope was found. Address, Mrs. G. Macpherson, 12 Copper Beaches, Bridport, Dorset. I took out the letter, unfolded it. Opened the letter and unfolded it. It's written in pencil, dated back, and the letter was written on the date. What is the date? It's written on December 26th, thus the day after Christmas, 1914. So the narrator got a table, brought home. When he opened the drawer, he found a letter. Okay, the letter was written to Mrs. C. Macpherson. The writer thought, no, I should not read somebody's letter. But he was very curious to know what is there inside it. So he opened the letter. Now, I asked you to underline certain words in the first page. Now, today we are going to do only page number 9 and 10 and then 17. This much portion we will cover. I have asked you to underline had wanted. Had wanted. Okay? Then I told you to underline thought. Second form of the verb, past tense. Then paid, second form. Brought, second form. Then the veneer had lifted. We will see these structures. So these sentences are in either simple past or in past perfect. Either simple past or in past perfect. Now we will learn a little more about. Some of you might be knowing, many of you must be knowing about these things, but we will recall what is simple past and what is past perfect. Because you have an exercise on page number 17 based on this structure. So let us recall those things what you already know. Simple past is action completed in the past. Something happened in the past. Example, I ate a pizza yesterday. Yesterday, past, already gone. Ate. Okay? Every verb has 3 forms. That is, go. I am giving you one example. Go, went, on. I will take the present form as V1, past tense as V2, and the participle, past participle as V3. Past participle as V3. Okay? So this is V2. Simple past means V2 will be there. Another example. Last year I went to China. Went. tense. Okay. Present, past, past participle, but I will write V1, V2, V3. Okay. So here past tense again V2. So the structure of the sentence is subject I plus V2. In simple past it will be subject plus V2, then rest of the sentence. Maybe adverb, maybe prepositional phrase, anything. That is rest of the thing. If it is a negative sentence, it will become subject plus did not plus V1. Subject plus did not plus V1 plus rest of the sentence. And if it is a question sentence it is did, subject plus V1 plus rest of the things. Okay? So this is how simple past tense structures are there. And where it is used when action is completed in the past. And sometimes we see series of past actions. Here I have given you one example. A series of actions. I finished homework, walked to the shop and bought some eggs. Look, finished, V2, what, V2, bought, V2. Series of actions going on in the past. And sometimes we use simple past for habits of the past. For habits of the past. That meaning is used to. I used to do. When I was in school, in my college days, when I was in college, I used to visit temple every day. I used to. That's a past action. For that also we use simple past. Right? I studied French when I was in 8th standard. When I was in 8th standard, I used to study French language. So some past habit, to express past habit, we also use simple past. Now let us see what is past perfect. Past perfect, the action completed before certain time. We tell the suppose we want to tell about some action that is completed before something else, then we use past perfect. Diwali had never been so spectacular before last night. For me, this Diwali was very spectacular. So I thought, it had never been so spectacular before last night. Here we have had and we have been. And you must be knowing been is the verb form is V1, we were, and V2 was, were, then V3 is been. V3 is been. So this is V3. Past participle verb. Had never been so spectacular before last night. And the structure of the sentence will be subject plus had plus V3 and then rest of the sentence. Negative, subject plus had not plus V3. Then rest of the sentence. If it's a question sentence or interrogative sentence, then the structure will be had plus subject plus V3. Had plus subject plus V3, then rest of the sentence. Just look at the difference. Here, when we add did, it becomes V1. When we add did, it became V1. But here in every structure, it is V3, V3, V3. That means past participle. Okay. Now, past perfect is used for an action finished before another past action. That means in the past, two actions were there. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Example, she had completed writing the letter before her friend arrived. Okay. So, for the earlier we use, I don't remember exactly what I told. Now this is final. For the earlier event we used past perfect. Past action, past perfect. Later action, simple past. I am repeating. For the earlier action, it is past perfect. For the later action, it is simple past. So, she had completed writing the letter. Okay, she had completed writing the letter. That is past perfect before her friend arrived. This is the later action. So, here simple past is used. Okay. Now, sometimes children get confused with the sentence had. They get confused. I had enough. Still, I wanted dessert. Had. Actually, here second had means eaten. Eaten. So, I had eaten enough. Still, I wanted dessert. So, here the meaning of had, it differs according to the context. It is another verb, but for which we are using had. But it represents the past participle of the verb. Okay. Now, that much concept we will learn today. Let us come to your page number 10. Comprehension check. 2 questions are there. First question is, what did the author find in a junk shop? Yes, the author found a rolled up desk which was clumsily mended, and fire and water had taken a toll on it, and he found it in a junk shop. What did he find in a secret drawer? Who do you think had put it in there? So what did he find? He found a letter. Okay? And who had kept it there? It was kept there by Mrs. G. Macpherson. Okay, she had kept it very safely so that when she dies, it will go with her. Okay? So children, you can go to page number 17. Do the exercise given in your working with your language here. This part I have explained. You do that exercise and also comprehension check of this part. Okay? That's all for today. Thank you.